Breaking news. See what happened during the clash between Ipob and DSS. A couple of weeks ago, the headlines across the country screamed into our faces. Ipob member killed in a violent clash with members of the DSS. And this was even from the headlines that are decided to be reasonable. Some of them threw caution to the winds, screaming outright that Ipob members had ambushed and killed 2 DSS members in a violent clash. Sometimes one is tempted to believe that the press deserves all that it gets at the hands of some of our extremely rambunctious politicians, especially when reportage of crucial events is coached in and a lot of mischief that gives one the impression that some politicians can indeed identify by mere sight what was sent to come and rubbish them with questions, and who is a journalist indeed. Such are much as my battles and disagreements with Ipob online members on their lutious double-go approach to the request for self-determination are legendary, yet it is near impossible to encounter a screaming headline like those ones and not experience some heart palpitations. When did Ipob turn violent? That is the questions a lot of people that knows Ipob members ought to be unarmed group, enough to actually waylay the kill of 2 DSS officers. Were these DSS officials unarmed, returning from an event in Multi and waylaid and clubbed to die? What exactly could have gone wrong? Well, it turns out that the story is that these Ipob members were holding a fellowship as usual, praying and singing not war chants, but religious hymns and choruses, when the DSS ambushed them and proceeded to open fire into the midst of non-violent and unarmed worshippers. Ipob, no DSS agent was armed in the making of that clash. Isn't it amazing that in spite of the fact that Ipob had errant online supporters, the stock in trade appears to be the ambush and abuse and threatening of innocent citizens, especially female ones, with sudden and gruesome deaths if they do not join them in beating like sheep every time they are sobering. And Bima releases a rapid video from his hideout in the UK. There has been no single death or act of terrorism recorded against his group. Yet, this comic army boasts so much of a threat to the Nigerian authorities that they rode in armored tanks all the way from Abuja. They brought in hundreds of boots on ground, and in the ill-fated Operation Python dance, endorsed by unfortunate governors of the eastern states, they invaded the southeast, leaving sorrow, tears and blood in their wake at this ill-fated meeting in Afaroko. We watch in awe as these same terrorists are issued uniforms by the Nigerian government, which ushers them back into society in highly televised and public-funded event. then absorbed into the Nigerian army of all places. What an insult to the gallant men of Nigerian army forces who lost their lives battling these insurgents. But the message which they unwittingly has passed across is that it is more beneficial as aggrieved citizens to bear arms and raise down helpless communities than it is to rather in a field and sing by the rivers of Babylon. And now, the conscience of the society, the press, which is supposed to advocate using their platform and voices, suddenly decide that sensation should trump truth, especially all these crucial points of our destiny. My question is, how does someone who is in his own compound, minding his own business, clash with an intruder? Thank you, viewers, for listening to this news. You have heard the details of this news. A lot of people are saying that Ipob members were the one that first went to the DSS, that Ipob members were the one that started the fight, the clash. Now, we now know the truth that during Ipob members' meeting, singing and dancing, singing praises, rejoicing, this so-called DSS came to them and started molesting them. Imagine, started molesting them. They laid out ambush to the convoy of the sitting state governors and opened fire on them. Imagine that. This same government that goes after gainfully employed and unarmed protesters in the southeast with a heavy hand. They treat these murderers, they treat these people, Boko Haram and herdsmen, with kid gloves. They pat them on the back after every particularly gruesome killing. Then they proceed to throw the country at their feet. Imagine that. Imagine what they are doing. The real people that should be taken to justice, be arrested, or two people they should send to fight with or to clash with are the herdsmen and Boko Haram. But that they can do. What they do, instead of saying the truth, instead of persecuting these people, they will never do that. They have been classified as terrorists in every sense of words. I mean, the Ipob members. Imagine, they have said a lot of things. Instead, what we have heard over and over again has been targeted ambushing by the Nigerian authorities. Imagine, young boys gathered in a field praying have been fed a feast of bullets from federal guns. Women, they gathered in a place singing, clapping, and being violently dispersed by these strong men of the Nigerian security forces. The last time Nnamdi Kanu gathered together his revolution fighters, all of us collapsed. They collapsed in elective meds at a group of ragtag warriors who could not even coordinate their legs and arms in a march past. Instead of persecuting these people that should be called terrorists are being pampered and they gave them name. They said Boko Haram are repented people. Repentance Boko Haram, that is the name they call them. Someone you should arrest, and so that they can stop their activities, their killings. You are there sitting down, they are wiping off your citizens, and you're doing nothing about it. Is that not a big shame? This is a slap on President Muhammadu Buhari's face. If he did not do anything concerning this, then other governments, other countries will say bad things about his administration. So the earlier the better. Let him quickly eradicate and stop this so-called terrorists from destroying Nigeria completely. So viewers, you have heard it all from the writer. What is your comment concerning this news? Your comments concerning this news is very much important. Please don't hesitate to drop all of your comment below the comment box. Click on the subscription button as well as the bell button to receive updates whenever I publish any new videos. Thank you.